Hello y'all, welcome to the video. A few people have asked how I do my makeup. Now I am no makeup guru, makeup person, but here is my routine. First, we're gonna start off with skincare. I use a lot of e.l.f. products for my skincare and makeup. I go in with their daily face wash, and then I am going to go in with their daily toner. Right after that, I use their daily moisturizer. And then just my daily stuff, I do go in with other products, And then this is the primer. And then I go in with a e.l.f. Dip Brow. I did my brows off camera because everybody does their brows on their own. And then I use my Mayron concealer stick. And I get a flat brush. I get some of that up on there. And then I just, pretty much like shape and outline, I guess, the brows. I use a lighter color on the bottom and then a darker color on top, but because of the video and I want like my eyes to pop, I use that same color on the top and bottom. And then I just fill in my lid and let that concealer kind of like sit so that it could get a little bit I guess tacky, you could say, so that when I put my foundation on, eyeshadow, sorry. When I put my eyeshadow on, it's ready to go. And then I just blend it out just a little bit so that when I use my all over color and blend that out, I don't have to get too close to my brows because I hate, having to do that. And so after this process, I'm stupid, y'all, I'm sorry. After this process, I'm gonna go in and get my all over color and put that everywhere. And, black girl makeup is a lot different from, it seems a lot different from like a lighter tone girl's makeup because we go pretty extreme. All right, so I tap into my Juvia's Place palette. All my eyeshadow palettes I'm using in this video are Juvia's Place. And this is in a yellow. It's like a yellow orangey mustardish type of color. Now, if I use like a white concealer or a white eyeshadow base, then it'll pop a little bit more, but I don't care for that. I kind of like how it kind of like, dulls down, I guess you could say. I'm going to tap into this other color. I don't even know what the name of that color is. I'm not that girl. Like I said, I'm not a guru. I am. And I'm just going to put that on the outside. And this is kind of like, I guess, like you could say like my base or transition color, even though transition colors tend to be lighter. But this is like what I use. It's almost the same color as my contour that y'all will see in a little bit. But yeah, I just use that. I know some people do this part first and then they get more eyeshadow base or concealer to cut that crease or whatever. I don't cut my crease anymore like that unless I'm doing like high drag. I'm gonna go into a Juvia's Place palette and grab that brown. And y'all probably did see that yellow that's in that palette. Like, why did you use that? That yellow has shimmer in it and I don't want to use that. So I just grabbed that brown to darken the corners of my eyes. Just so that when to me, it just creates a more sultry eye. And then, yeah. Now I am going to be blending out my foundation with a damp beauty blender. I use a damp beauty blender. Sometimes I would use a brush, but a damp beauty blender kind of just makes my foundation more like skin-like texture, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I have a dark neck, y'all. I have diabetes, and I used to eat really, really, really unhealthy. So that is kind of like one of the side effects of like having diabetes and having a poor diet is having like that dark neck. Anyways, I'm on a mission to get it better. Anyways, so I'm just gonna blend. I know it's gonna look crazy right now because it's just like a harsh line, but trust me, it will blend out and it will be super cute. And then I go back in with my damp beauty blender and I use that concealer and blend that all around. I used to always, on this part, like fuck up my brow. That's why I started to, blend out that brow concealer like earlier because I would fucking hella fuck up my brows by doing that part. Alrighty, and then for some people, it depends. If I'm gonna do like hardcore crazy drag, then I would just use the stick and just like, put that there and let it sit. But since I'm not, I get my damn beauty blender and I put the product on the beauty blender so that I have more control and so that's not just so much on there. But like I said, if I were to do like a whole drag face, like to go perform, I would use the stick to like apply a lot of product. And then I would also even go in with a lighter concealer on top of that, only in like the inner corner. But I'm not doing that today. I recorded this shit like at midnight and I wasn't going anywhere. So I grabbed my contour stick, and these are all Mayron sticks. I do that. I do my nose. I do my cheek, and I used to put the contour powder or contour powder. What the fuck, y'all? This is an unedited type of video. Sorry. I used to use my contour product and put it on the beauty blender too, but I was like, no, I need my contour to like hella show. So I spray some setting spray on my face so that the foundation, the contour like sticks. And I let that dry a little bit when I fan it off so that it doesn't move so much. And I just got a nose job, fuck paying $3,000, $4,000. Just get you a little Mayron stick. So I blend that out. When I first started doing my makeup, like learning how to do a nose, or I didn't know what I wanted my nose contour to be, but here I am and I did it. I like my nose how it is, so I blend that out, and I don't mind going up a little bit when I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. I don't mind going up a little bit with my contour, because then I could also get the concealer part of my beauty blender and blend that out some more. I think I might do it here, I don't know. Always get the neck. I always get behind the ear. And I don't try to bring it down too much, but because I do have dark neck, I do kind of like, try to blend that as best as possible. My neck and my chest are not the same color, but my face and my chest are the same color. So I kind of just like ignore the dark neck shit. And if anybody wants to say shit about it, I don't fucking care. So after this, it's powder time. I get my damp beauty blender. I use one of the sides, and I go in with banana powder from Ben Nye. And I always do my forehead first, and then I do my nose, and then under my nose, which is like my upper lip. And I don't try to use too much product. I don't try to like bake, I guess. I do a little baking later, but it's literally like 2 seconds. But I try to like get that damn beauty blender and like, pat that in so that it looks kind of like very seamless. And yeah, I don't want to look too cakey. That's why I don't like bake on my under eye area anymore, because I used to, and it was like, ugh. You can see like the texture in my skin, which I'm like working really hard to trying to get rid of the texture in my skin. So yeah, so I use banana powder. Then I go in with chestnut Ben Nye powder, which is empty. I need to order a new one. And then I start with my cheeks first, because that's where I feel like it needs the most product first. And then on my forehead, I just use like a very little bit of like the residue that was on the beauty blender from doing my cheeks. And this is what I was talking about with like black girl makeup, or like darker girl makeup. It's like, this looks crazy. Like a lot of well, I know some black girls do it, or some like darker skinned people still do it. They just use translucent powder, like a white translucent powder or whatever. But I have to use these like pigmented powders because I am a darker skinned girl. And I do want color in my face. I know that when sometimes people use the translucent powder, like the clear white translucent powder, they look ashy in pictures, like on the flashback. So that's why I use these tinted color, quote unquote translucent powders. And yeah, just blend it. And patting, when you're patting with a beauty blender, like it does blend the two like colors together. You don't always need a brush to blend as long as you have your own like little methods. And I don't think this looks bad. And then it is time to contour. I go in with a Juvia's Place palette, and I do big circles towards like the temple of my face, and then I try to do smaller circles, but I'm a big bitch with a big hand, so sometimes it's just big circles everywhere. So yeah, and this color. This is what I use, like, I guess you could say like daytime. Like I said, if I were going out or if I was going to perform, I would use a darker shade than that. And you're probably like, bitch, how much darker can you get? It's a very darker shade that I use when I perform or go out at night. But this is just a little daytime contour. And then, yeah, make sure you get under your neck, your chin. I do the back of my ears. I don't want to get clocked like Michelle Visage did by whoever that one person said that on Drag Race. But yeah, and finding contour for a dark girl used to be so much harder, but now so many brands are, going deeper with their shades. When I first started doing drag, I used to literally use black. I used to use a black eyeshadow. And so this is the part where I said I kind of like bake a little bit, only because if I were to be performing, and I keep on going back to kind of like performing drag makeup to like everyday trans girl makeup, if I were to have had a show, I would use my concealer stick to kind of like make that line. But since I'm not, I'm just doing like a quote unquote reverse contour with that. Anyways, I tapped into that those two colors from the Juvia's Place palette for my contour. And so, not contour, blush. I'm gonna see how these YouTubers do it. They probably spend all day fucking do that shit. Anyway, so I get the color on the brush and I tap on the apples of my cheeks, and then I go back to the top and then blend it down, and I put a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, just to bring some color back into my face, because I just don't want to be yellow and brown, we have blood under us, and I already have like a yellowish undertone skin, like a yellow gold undertone, so I do like to add a little bit of like blushy redness. And this, I'm just taking my brush and I'm just like blending, make sure everything is kind of like, seamlessly blending together. I remember when I used to not blend like that. Anyways, I get my spoolie and then I just like brush down. And this is like, as you can see right here, the two different like spoolie and not spoolied. It just looks a little bit more natural, And I only learned about doing like the spoolie about like 2 years ago. And I've been doing like makeup for 6-7 years now. So you can imagine, I just had fucking blocked brows. And I get a little bit of the banana pepper. What the I did not say banana pepper. You saw I'm hungry. The banana powder, and I just like tap that on there. Anyway, let me stop. I grabbed my Juvia's Place palette to get a shimmer, and I just popped that in my inner corner. I literally need an inner corner shimmer, inner corner highlight in my makeup like all the time. I started doing that because of Jackie Aina. So back to this e.l.f. shit. I use the e.l.f. eyeliner. I love the applicator. The applicator makes it so much easier for me. I used to use markers, like the e.l.f. markers, but it doesn't give me that precision that I need. So here we go. And to me, when you put eyeliner on when you don't have like a really dark, eyeshadow, like that is, to me, is like, it's like, okay, it's like your eyebrows are your shirt and the eyeliner is like your pants. Like, you will look crazy walking around with just a t-shirt and no pants. So you got to put the pants on, and for me, the eyeliner are the pants. So now it's like the outfit is complete, I know that's a fucking crazy analogy, but that's just where my mind went to. All right, so I always do a little mole there, just a little beauty mark. A little beauty mark, and then I before I put my lips on, I put glue on my lashes. So the lash glue is getting a little bit tacky right now. And then I go in with this Juvia's Place lipstick in a brown. I believe the shade is Cocoa. And then I grab another shade, a lighter shade. It's more like nude, like white girl nude tone. It's kind of like peachy, I guess. It's the shade Libra. I am not a Libra, I'm a Leo. But I like the two colors together. And then when I like pucker it, pucker, it just looks good. You know, it kind of gives me like that 90s, like 1990s vibe. I don't know, a black girl, I mean, even whatever shade girl, but I just love a brown into like a nude, like ombre. And I take this e.l.f. mascara. It's called Big Mood. I fell in love with it. It has like a little indent for like the eye, for like y'all know our fucking eye, our lash lid, whatever. It curves, so it has that curve on there. And I do the bottom, and I take a little brush. I learned this from my friend Ryan. I just like blend that out just so that it's just not sitting there looking all cakey. And if I don't want to use like a black shadow, because a black shadow like will leave a lot of fallout, and it just, this look's not calling for it intense. You know, I put my lashes on after they got a little bit tacky. And yeah, I get my e.l.f. setting spray, and I drenched myself. Adonis says douse, I say drenched. Look, drenched, wet, moisture. All right, then I fan it dry. And yeah, that is the makeup. That is the tutorial. Thank y'all for watching. If you are watching, like I said, I'm no makeup girl, but this is the face that I do pretty much daily. It takes me about 25 minutes. But yeah, bye.